Everyone just keeps saying that I don't have time for workouts, I just feel so tired when I get home to go to the gym, or the famous sentence that everyone loves to say, from Monday I will be consistent at the gym and I won't miss any workouts anymore. But days goes by and we're still in the same cycle, just waiting for something to happen. You don't even know what that is, but you're still not taking actions. Today I want to share with you how I got in shape even working more than 10 hours a day. There were some days that I was just working 14 hours a day and I was still finding time to go to the gym. And then you're just probably asking yourself, how is that even possible? Stick here in this video with me, then I'm gonna show you exactly what I do. And the last point might just blow your mind. And the first decision that I had to make in my life is just to realize that you don't need to have more time. It's all about doing the right things with the time that you have. And the truth is, you are just not prioritizing your health. And when you want to prioritize something, it's all about the elimination of alternatives. Just to start with, just look at your routine, just look at your calendar and just ask yourself, where can I just take 1 hour off my calendar here to go to the gym? And then don't tell me you can't take anything off, because you're gonna be lying to me and you're gonna be lying to yourself, because you can actually find time in your calendar to put the gym there. And then you probably have to cut off distractions along the day. If you like to watch TV when you get home, you're probably gonna have to cut that off because you just need that time to go to the gym, or you're just gonna have to spend less time on useless things that you're not getting you anywhere. And you don't need to have like that perfect routine that everyone just talks about. You know, you just have to have a routine that fits in your time. A routine, if your time is limited, like my one is, because I just work in more than 10 hours a day, just work with what you have and just find solutions with it. You just have to structure your day just based on what all those priorities are. If you gotta work like from 8 o'clock in the morning, for example, to 6 o'clock in the afternoon, if you do work like 10 hours a day, just get your calendar and just like from Monday, for example, just fill up those calendar. The first thing you're gonna put there is your work, because you're not gonna miss it. So you're just gonna put that from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And the next thing, you're just gonna fill your calendar. It's not about meetings or anything like that, time with your family, not that. You're just gonna find a time for the gym, and that's it. You just put it there. And I definitely recommend you to put the workout in the morning if you can, because there's so many good things about it, which is just like the release of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphin. There's those feel good chemicals that is just gonna boost your day, which is just gonna keep you active for a couple of hours after you leave the gym. If you're the type of person who knows who's gonna be struggling to go to the gym after work, just change this habit. Just go in the morning. Make this habit to be a little bit easier for you. And then you just get everything else and just fits your calendar. But those things have to be priority. And that is one guy in Brazil that is called Joel J. He talks a lot about what your priorities should be in your life, and you never change them, which is just your health, family, and work. Never change this order. And I totally agree with him, because if you don't have health, you can't really look after your family, you can't really work. So you have to prioritize your health. You have to prioritize yourself first, because if you're not in good shape, if you don't have a good health, you're not gonna live longer. You're not gonna have time for a family. Everything else is gonna be so much harder. Once you have that routine in place, once you're just like going to the gym, you're gonna see how better you're gonna perform at work and everything else in your life. You know, that's the power of like being active. That's the power of doing exercises. That's the power of like lifting weights at the gym. And before you jump into the next topic, can you just make sure that you subscribe to the channel? I'll appreciate you so much for it. And I know there will be days that you feel exhausted, you're just tired, you just don't feel like going to the gym. It happens with me as well. But the most important thing is the consistency. Because when you have those days that you don't want to go to the gym for some reason, the consistency will keep you up. I mean, if you miss one day here and there, that's not gonna affect you much. But it's always good to keep in mind that don't let your emotions control you. If you just miss one day because you're tired, and then you miss the next one because you just feel tired as well, it's gonna be so much easier to keep missing days like that in a row. And then to get back on track, it's gonna be harder because you're already missing those days. But then even if you're tired, just acknowledge your emotions, acknowledge your feelings, but then choose to take action towards them. Just choose to go to the gym anyway. Even when you're feeling tired, you're not in the mood for a workout. When you do that, you just send a message to your brain that is just like you're not giving a chance to your emotions and your feelings. And that's how discipline is gonna be built in your life, because you're not gonna care about emotions and feelings. You're just gonna do what you're supposed to do, and that's basically it. And then consistency, it's all about like being in a relationship. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be loyal to it. If you fail one day, that's okay. That's not gonna mean that you're just a failure. That's why it's important just to get back on track as soon as you fail, because you fail one day and then you just like the next day you just fail again, and then the third day you just fail again. You're just gonna go back to your old self, you know. There's just gonna be like falling off track all the time, and then you can't keep the consistency. And the last thing that I want to mention is that training will not drain your energy. It's actually gonna give you more, because a lot of people think, oh, I'm just tired from work, I don't feel like working out, why should I go to the gym? I can feel my body is not gonna be in perfect conditions for it. But if you go to the gym, it's actually gonna give you more energy, you know, because you're gonna feel good after you leave the gym, and you know that you're gonna be thanking you for actually going to the gym, because an exercise will give you more energy, even like after a long day. I'm just saying you that because it happens to me, because some of the days I work like 10, 11 hours sometimes, I still have time to go to the gym. I'm feeling tired, yes. I feel like that I don't want to go, yes, but I do that anyway, because that's how I am. I just don't give chances to my emotions to take me over. Every time that you just move your body, your brain kind of like wakes up, or your stress is just fades, and your confidence, you know, that's just like coming from that workout, it just goes up, and then your whole life just basically improves. And that's how powerful the gym is. That's how powerful having that habit of going to the gym consistently gives you. And then if you look for someone just to help with your workouts, your nutrition, your routine, and how to build that discipline in life, I'm just going to leave a link here in my description where you can just book a free call with me, that you can have a conversation, and then I can show you how I can actually help you just build the routine if you're just like working so much in life like I am. So I work 10 hours a day. If you feel like that you can't really find time to put the gym there, I can help you. You know, I can just build a workout with you, and then you just go from there. I want to pass exactly what I have here in my life to you, to build that discipline and just to be consistent at the gym, you know, with like easy workouts, tips about nutrition and everything. Because I've been working out for like 12 years, and I know how to get yourself back on track, especially when life, you know, gets busy. And then just book that call. You can just go through your goals, your lifestyle, and then you can just become the best version of yourself. I think that's basically what I've got to talk to you today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.